Sir, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, sir. Sir, I literally can't hear you.
Yes, Sundus, there was some network issue from my side, I believe. Now, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. So I asked a question to you that why preparation of soil is necessary? Why is it important to lose the soil? Yes, Sundus.
So, because the top side, the top side needs to be loose so that the plant can grow.
Okay, plants can grow. Uh, okay, that's a very general way to answer this question, Sundus. So that plants can grow. ठीक है, हम समझ रहे हैं आप? So the plants can grow in a proper manner. If the soil is loose, if the soil is not very tight and not very tight, so thereby the seeds can germinate properly. Seeds will have enough amount of water availability. The roots of the plants will penetrate deeper into the ground. Huh? So these are the following reasons now why it becomes important to lose the soil. Getting it now?
Yes,
Just give me 1 minute. I'm not the co-host of the meeting. I will have to make a quick call. Okay, now just wait for 1 minute.
yes, yes.
Please make me co-host of the meeting. Okay, finally. So the very first reason why preparation of soil becomes necessary, so that the roots of the plants can penetrate deeper. अब इससे क्या फायदा होगा? What is the benefit of deeper roots? Yes, on this.
Sir, what?
1 minute. This is important. My question is that कि हमने जाना कि preparation of soil is important. अगर soil को हम lose करते हैं, if the soil is very loose, the particles of soils have gaps between them. So because of this, the roots can penetrate deeper. Now the roots can penetrate deeper. So what is the benefit if the roots are deeper? अगर roots deeper हैं, so it will be having access to more water, right now.
Yes, sir.
That's why you get to see that if the roots of desert plants, namely the cactus, they are very deep. The plants that are growing in the desert areas are having longer roots, deeper roots, because the water normally is found at deeper levels in desert areas. That's why the roots have to be very long, very deep to reach the water. Getting it, no? So that is one of the benefit. Roots can be deeper, right? Can you think of another benefit? You know that just like humans breathe, plants also breathe. Plants अपने leaves के जरिए, plants can breathe via their leaves. Why the green stems also plants breathe, and why the root also plants breathes. Getting it now? So if the soil is loose enough, so thereby there will be air molecules trapped between the soil particles, and hence roots will get to breathe the air. Getting it what I'm trying to say? If the soil were to be very tight, the soil were to be very tight, hence there will be no air between the soil particles. Suppose that the soil particles are very compactly packed like this. So will it be having any space for air molecules?
Mm.
No. Compact soil, it means no air molecules, no air molecules are trapped. While if the soil particles are loose, hence there is gap between them, and the gap will be filled with the air molecules. Getting it now? So air molecules are trapped in between B slash W. Wherever I will be writing B slash W, it means between. मैंने short में between लिखा है. Getting it, Asundus? So air molecules are trapped in between the soil particles. And that is a loose soil. You will draw a diagram like this also. Okay, now? And also what you can do now, you can simultaneously be taking the screenshots as well, whenever I will be telling you. Okay, now? So loose soil traps air molecules. So that is another benefit of preparation of the soil. Also, I did told you something about the humus also. So loose soil allows the growth of humus. Growth of humus. Is that all? Is there no any other benefit of the loosening of soil? There's one more. As we discussed, that loosening of the soil uproots the unwanted plants also. Huh? While in the process of plowing the land, and the unwanted plants that we call as weeds, so they are also uprooted in the process of loosening of soil. Huh? And also many times what happens while the process of plowing, when the land is being plowed, the unwanted plants are also uprooted, and they are basically getting thereby they are now buried into the soil, and hence they suffocate. So they suffocate to death. Is the last point clear to you or not? What I just said?
Yes.
No? Right. So there is an unwanted plant like growing. So when the soils will be uprooted, the soil particles will cover it, and hence it suffocates. So it
That was the unwanted plant that suffocates.
exactly. So it uproots the unwanted plant. What is another name for this unwanted plant?
Weed.
Weed, exactly. And suffocates them to death. Also, we know that if there is air molecules trapped between the soil particles, so it will also allow the water. It will also allow the percolation of water. Hence, loose soil ensures the availability of water in the soil also. Correct, no? If the soil were to be very hard, if there is no space between the soil particles, so thereby water will not be percolating in it. Now, since there is space between it, air is there. And when the air molecules are there, so hence water will also be entering into those space if air can get into that. Get it, no? So
I
ensures,
get.
just 1 minute. Let me explain this one once more, ensures the water availability to plant. See, if the soil were to be very tough like this soil particles are compactly arranged. So if you were to provide water to it, water will be simply floating above it. Water will be above it. It will not penetrate because there is no space. Now you have loosened the soil by plowing. By the process of plowing, you have loosened it. Another name for plowing is, what is another name for plowing? Think of it.
Tilling.
Tilling, exactly. So now since the soil particles are loose, hence air molecules are also trapped in between that. And if air molecules are there, basically it's a gap which is being filled with the air molecules. So water will, when you will be pouring water over it, now water will be entering into those gaps which were earlier occupied by the air molecules. I'm not saying that all the air molecules will be expelled out. I'm saying that because of the gap, water will also percolate into those gaps. Getting it, Nasundos? So if water can percolate, hence the roots will be having accessibility to the water as well. Okay, I suppose it is clear.
No, sir. It is not clear.
It's not clear. The last point isn't clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Khadija is also here. No, yeah, Khadija, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, Khadija, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm also good. Okay. Uh, Khadija, in the last, I suppose in the last class you were not present.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, anyways, just let me complete the last point which I said moments ago, and then we will continue from where you left, Khadija. So the last point I did told now that preparation of soil ensures the water availability to the plants. How is it so? I say that if the soil particles are very tightly arranged, very compactly arranged, there is no space between them. So water will float above it, right? Now, with the help of plow or a cultivator, these are the agricultural instruments that we use in order to loosen the soil. For the process of plowing, also called as tilling, we use a plow or a cultivator. And you can have a look at this image that will give you a better idea. This is a plow that is attached to the back of the bullocks. And this is another device that is also used. Nowadays, we are using cultivators. This is a cultivator attached on back of this tractor, on the back of this tractor. Come back to this topic now. So we use it to loosen the soil. Now, what does the loosening of soil does? It creates gaps between the soil particles. You can see these are the, let's say, soil particles, and they are at there are some gap between them, and those gaps are basically normally occupied by the air molecules. Air gets into those gaps. Getting it now? Like, I mean to say that, suppose say I'm having this water bottle in my hand. The water is filled up to this level, but this much is empty. So that much area is obviously filled with air now. Getting it what I'm trying to say? This much area in this water bottle is filled with the air. If I were to pour more water into this water bottle, the air will be expelled out, and that empty area will be now occupied with the water. Is this clear to you guys or not?
Yes, sir.
If there is nothing, it means there is air. If something is empty, it means there is air in it. I'm not talking about space where there is no air. I'm talking here on earth. So those empty spaces, now the water will be entering into those empty spaces. Right now? And the roots of the plants will be getting those water. The roots of the plants will be getting the water. Is the last point, is this point clear to you guys or not? Is it clear? It's a simple point, in
Mm,
fact. Sundus, is it clear?
yes.
Khadija, since you joined a little bit late, let me quickly summarize what we just discussed moments ago. What are the importance of soil preparation we have been discussing? So that roots can grow deeper, loosening of soil traps air molecules, and just like the leaves of the plants breathe, later in the chapter or in class 7th, you guys must have studied that why the stomatal pores, there are tiny pores in the stomata, via which the leaves are breathing. The green stems can also breathe, and in the same manner the roots also breathes. So loose soil is having air molecules trapped between them, and if there is loose soil, air molecule is there, and hence those air molecules will be the roots of the soil will be breathing those, right? Loosening of soil also allows the growth of humus. Humus, you guys must already be familiar with the organic waste that is present in the soil, dead and decaying bacteria, leaves, vegetables, basically organic waste that is there in the soil, along with earthworm, microorganisms, and some insects also. So that makes up the humus. So loose soil will be having moisture in it, air in it, and hence it facilitates, it allows the growth of humus. Also, in the process of loosening of the soil, the unwanted plants are also uprooted and they are buried into the soil, and hence they suffocate to death. So these are the things which we discussed. The next thing, why this image also you can see that, see this one. You know, roots also have got very tiny roots coming out of them that are called as root hairs. If I were to zoom out this, see, you can see this is the main root. Huh? This is the main root that you can see here. And out of the main root also very hair like roots are coming out of it. Getting it now? So what you will see now, due to the presence of the tiny hair, tiny root hair on the roots, the surface area of the root increases. And if the surface area of the root increases, hence it will be absorbing more water. What do I mean to say? Say this is the root of any plant, let's say. Say this is the main root of any plant. And let's say this is the root of a different plant. But there's a difference between the two. In this one now, there are very tiny root hairs coming out of the main root, like this. So you guys tell me that if I were to dip these two roots in water, so which one will be absorbing more water? Is it the first one or is it the second one?
The first one.
What about you, Sundus?
First one.
It's the Sundus, are you there?
Yes, I'm there and I said the first one.
The first one right now. So the reason being is that the presence of root hair increases the surface area. It increases the surface area and hence the absorption increases. Okay, now come back to this thing. You can see that there are water. There's a water that is surrounding the root hairs. Why water is there? Because there is actually air spaces between the soil particles, and hence due to the space between the soil particles, water also gets there. And in this manner, you can see the plant is having accessibility to the to water and to air also, right? This image here depicts what? What does this image depict?
Dried leaves.
Dried leaves, but in context to what we have been studying, we can
I
relate it
guess
to the Mhm.
it's
humus.
not getting that.
Not getting it. And we can relate it in context to humus. The dried leaves will later on convert into humus. They will start decaying and they will now be converting into humus. Getting it now? And humus is not just the dead and decaying organic matter. It's not just the dead and decaying plant leaves or the rotting fruits, vegetables. It's not just that. It also counts different type of microorganisms, earthworms also, right now. Okay. Also, you know that loosening of soil, it brings the bottom layers of topsoil above, and hence more fertile soil is now in the topsoil. So thereby the plants will be having accessibility to nutrient rich soil because it comes to the top while plowing the land. I suppose these points are clear.
Yes.
Plowing and tilling, there's a one line definition to it, that is the process used to loosen and turn the soil, that is called as tilling. There are various ways of doing plowing. In numerous ways you can plow the land. Okay, now so we have got several agricultural implements that we use. So before sowing the seed, it is necessary to loosen the soil, to turn the soil in the field, so that because loosening of the soil breaks it into very tiny pieces. Okay, now so the first implement that we have is this implement called as plow, and that is pulled by the blocks. See, if the farmers were to plow a small plot of land, they will be taking help of this wooden plow. Let's understand the structure of this wooden plow. So this wooden plow, guys, so this wooden plow has got a very simple structure. If you were to look at one end of this wooden plow, let me write wooden here. If you were to look at one end of this wooden plow, it is a very pointy and it is made up of metal. Okay, now so wooden plow consists of a long log of wood, which is called plough shaft. This long log of wood that you see here, this is called as plough shaft. And here, this end of this plough that you see, there's an iron strip over it. There's an iron strip over it, which you call as plowshare. So we do a metal covering over this end so that it becomes stronger, because this is the end that goes into the ground. Okay, now this is the end that goes into the ground. This is the end of the plow that is eroding the soil. You guys getting it or not? And then look, there has to be one more structure. Let me draw this one. There's on this plow shaft, you can see there's a tiny wooden structure that is fitted at a 90-degree, and this goes onto the back of this bullocks. You guys getting it or not? So this
What's
is a
the metal
just 1 minute. This wooden beam that you see here, this wooden beam is fitted at an angle of 90-degree on this plow shaft. And this wooden beam, I don't know if you guys can clearly see or not, but this is on the neck of this bullock. On the back of the bullock, you can see it is placed. Khadija, Sundus, can you guys get this or not? Yes. This wooden beam that you can see here, this is here, over here. Let me just draw it. See. Now are you guys are getting it or not? Let me draw it using a different color. So this is how plow is actually used. You guys able to relate this image here? The one which I have drawn here with this image? Match the
Yes.
two, match my drawing with this image. Also, let me write the name of this part also. This is called as handle. Okay, no? Handle. So while the plow is being pulled by these blocks, the direction of the plow is being managed by this man who is turning the handle. He turns the handle left or right. In this manner, it actually directs the bullocks also in which direction they have to take turn. I suppose plow is clear to both of you. Is it or not?
So what's that metal thing called?
What's that metal thing? This metal here that is called as plowshare. Okay, no? Ploughshare. Plowshare. Plowshare. Okay, no? And that is the handle of it. That long wooden log, this long log that you are seeing here, this is called as plow shaft. And that is the wooden beam. Normally, these terms are not asked in the exam, but you can know this still. Khadija, is it clear to you?
Yes.
Okay, no, I suppose it is clear. Okay. Nowadays, this traditional agricultural implement has now been replaced. It is usually used by farmers that own a very small area of land. Okay, no? Now next, look at this one. That is called as a hoe, HOE. So what is the use of this one? The first one we have discussed. Now let's talk about this hoe. So it is another agricultural implement. Implement basically means tool. Implement or tool, both are the same thing. So this hoe is mainly used for the removal of unwanted plants, that is weed. And in the
Can
process
you
of
repeat it?
this hoe, it is used for removing the weeds from the land. Basically, the removal of unwanted plants. Also, it is used for loosening and turning the soil. Also, let me just write the function of it. Hoe. It is used for weed removal and along with loosening of soil also. I'm not writing the whole sentences because that will take too much of time. Just writing a very short definition to things. Let's understand the structure of it. If you were to look at this structure, it consists of a very long wood, and there is a handle also in it. You can see there's a handle in it also. This one is the handle, and this is where the farmers will be holding it with their hand. That is the grip. So the functioning of it is also very similar. It is not very much different from the plow. There's a just a small change in it, that there is a bent plate attached to one end of it. So this consists of a long rod of wood. Sometimes this long rod in it can be made up of iron also. Okay, now. So one of the end consists of a bent plate that is also made up of iron, and this is acting as a blade. So one end of it is very sharp. There is a sharp blade. So when this is being moved over the land, so it will be cutting all the unwanted plants. Getting it, guys, or not? And this hoe is also being pulled by the animals like bullocks. So can't we just say that this hoe is actually a kind of a modified plow? Because this pointy end that you are seeing here, now this pointy end of this plow is acting same as this plowshare acts. So it will be helping in loosening the soil. While since it has got a very sharp blade in it, there's a sharp blade, so it will be cutting the unwanted plants also. So it performs two functions simultaneously. You guys tell me, is that clear or not? It is clear. Sundar, is it clear?
Yes, it's
Hmm. And both of these are traditional devices, and both of them are being pulled by a pair of bullocks. Now, in order to plow very large field, these these tools are not efficient. So so in order to do that, nowadays we have got cultivators. Okay, no. So we have got cultivators. So these are the cultivators that are attached to the back of the tractors. Getting it, no? So that is a simple thing about it. And it is efficient because it saves time, and it is more efficient. It can be used to plow large field of land in a very short span of time. There are several disadvantages with this plow. What are the disadvantages of using it? Suppose the bullocks are ill, so thereby the farmer will not be able to plow the land. It will take too much of time. Too much, we can simply say it's a time consuming process. Along with the human labor, animal labor is also involved in it. Only a small plot of land can be plowed using that. So that was the thing. Another step involved in the in the preparation of soil is the leveling of soil. Levelling. Now the question comes that why leveling of soil is important. You guys have a look at this image and you guys tell me why leveling of soil is important.
I know what is happening.
Explain it.
Like there are big pieces of soil remaining in that land, so we level it.
Mhm. Correct. So we have got bigger chunks of soil is still left even after plowing the land. There could be bigger chunks of soil, right now, and that since it is a top soil, it is part of the top soil, so it is holding a very good amount of nutrient in it. So we need to break it down. Getting it now? So why leveling of the soil is important? Because the bigger chunks of soil can cause problems in this sowing of seed. So if bigger chunks of soils are there on the field, so that will lead to problems in the sowing of the seed. Seeds will not, we can't sow the seeds in a very even manner. Suppose, for example, spinach. You guys must have, we all have eaten spinach leaves, vegetable of a spinach. So how the seeds of spinach are sown, you guys know? They are simply sprinkled, they are simply sprayed on the land, on the land like this. They are simply thrown on the land. Getting it now? So what will happen if you were to sow the seeds of spinach? Lots of seeds will be getting accumulated here. Lots of seeds will be accumulating here and here. So that will lead to problem in germination of seeds. Getting it, guys? What I'm trying to say. And had this field been like this, if the seeds, if the soils were leveled down properly, now you can spread the seeds in a very even manner like this. So it saves the wastage of seed also. It ensures that the seeds are sown in a proper manner. Second thing is that large crumbs of soil holds nutrients, and breaking of soil of these soil chunks uh, is important due to that also. So I suppose this point is clear to both of you why leveling of the field is important. If there's any question in it, please do let me know. I'll still discuss what are the implements we use for leveling of soil?
I didn't get that point.
What exactly, Sandus, you are not getting in this one? Please let me know.
The second point.
The second point. The second point basically says that, these are the bigger soil chunks. And this will also be holding lots of nutrients in it, right? So when you break these bigger chunks of soils, it will break into tiny pieces, and hence nutrient is distributed in an even manner. Earlier, they were not being broken into different pieces, so nutrients were locked into large crumbs of soils. Now it is being broken, and so thereby it is getting evenly spread on the land. Getting it, Khadija, Sandus? You guys getting it or not?
Yes.
Okay, no? Talking about what are the implements that we use for the labeling. Look at the first image and look at the second image. You guys tell me what difference do you guys spot in the two?
So the first one is done by Pullers and the second one is done by
Okay.
the bulldozer.
It's not a bulldozer. See, in the first image, what we are seeing here, that we are using a, if you suppose you guys can see it properly or not, see, there's a very heavy wood on which this man is standing, over which this man is standing. So there's a thing called as leveler. Leveler is nothing but a large wood. There's a large wood over which this person is standing, and as the bullocks are moving forward, the bigger chunks of soils are being broken down. Okay, now, so
It is
once,
not that and how the rock would break.
if again repeat that.
Like that wood thing is not that sharp, then how would the rock would break?
No, it does not have got anything to do with the sharpness. Basically, when it will be rolled over the soil crumbs, large soil crumbs, so due to the weight of the man, that will be getting broken down. Getting it? So due to the weight of that, the soil particles will be getting broken down. So that is how it basically works. Okay, now. Now look
Can
at
you
this.
repeat again?
I was basically saying that, see, there's a large wooden structure like this, which we are basically calling a leveler because it levels down the soil. And this farmer is also standing over it. So as this is being pulled by the bullocks, as this large wood is being pulled by it, now this when it comes in contact with the bigger soil chunks now, so those soil chunks are being broken due to the weight of this large wood structure. That is we are calling as leveler. Getting it or not? What I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Hmm? Okay. So leveler is basically a tool that we are using here. Now look at the second image. Also, if you were not to see, observe one thing that this leveler, that is a large wood, the farmers will be using it on a small plot of land, right now. While this mechanical leveler will be used on a large piece of land. Getting it now? So that is called as a dozer, dozer. So dozer is basically used um, for leveling the larger area of land. It's a mechanized leveler. Hope you guys are getting it.
Yes.
Khadija, is it clear? There's nothing too
Yes.
much technical about it. It's a simple concept. Okay. Now we have got few questions which we'll be discussing, and then we will be moving with the next topic. Khadija, you answered the first question. Yes, where do we get the food from?
C.
Good. Yes, Sundus. Question number 2. And Khadija, you look at question number 3. Question number 2, Sundas.
So,
Hmm.
crop. I don't know.
Can I
That
say?
crops.
Exactly, that is crop. Yes, Khadija.
I don't know the third one.
It's a question. Question says that is crop production and management important to provide food for a large number of population? It's a yes or no question.
Yes.
Obviously, it's important, no? Because if a farmer is preparing food for only for his own family, so thereby he does not need to go through the lengthy process of soil preparation, adding manures and fertilizer to the soil. He will just produce 40 to 50 kilogram of grain for his family, and the need of his family will be met. But since their livelihood is dependent upon farming, so they have to sell the surplus amount of food grains produced in the market. huh? So that's how the livelihood of there is being they are earning their livelihood, and we are getting our food also. So define crop. What do you mean by crop? Khadija, look
So,
at question
plant
number.
that is grown on a
Hmm,
large scale
okay, you're missing one thing in this.
for profit.
Mhm. Khadija, you define crop.
Uh, when a same kind of plant is grown in the fields on a large scale to obtain food, then it is called a crop.
Exactly. So in the definition, you missed same kind of crops. Okay, no. So you have to add same kind of uh, plant. We have to see that. Okay, no. Name some crop plants, Khadija.
Wheat, rice,
Hmm.
mustard,
Mustard,
sunflower seeds.
sunflower, linseed is there. So many of them are there. Good. Yes, Sundus. Classify crops on the basis of season in which they are grown.
So, so what I have to classify?
Classify the crops on the basis of seasons in which they are grown. Like, what are the three seasons? I mean to say, what are the three types of crops which are grown in three different seasons?
Oh,
Hmm.
Zed, Kharfi, and Rabi.
Kharif, Zaid, Kharif, and Rabi crops. Talking about Kharif crops, Rabi crops, and the Zaid crops. Khadija, one of them is also known as winter crops. Which one is it?
Winter crops, it's wheat.
Rabi crops. Very good. Sundus, can you give some example of Kharif crops?
So, soybean,
Soybean.
groundnut,
Very good. Hmm.
millet, maize.
Millets, maize. Okay, very good. Okay, do tell me, when are they grown?
June to June
Sep-
to
June to September.
September.
So when that is the time period when there is a rainy season in India. So we say that they are grown in the rainy season. Okay, no? Okay, what about the Rabi crops? When are they grown in the obviously in the winter season? And winter here in India particularly is from the month of October to March. Okay, no? Khadija, give some examples of Rabi crops.
Rabi crops,
Hmm.
wheat, pea, mustard, and gram.
Gram, mustard. Very good. Okay, what are Zaid crops? Yeah, Sundus.
So, so um, they are both the crops that are grown between Kharif and Rabi.
Correct. Okay. Also, they are the summer crops because they are basically being grown in the summer season. Huh? That's why you see that particularly in summer season only you will be having particular fruits and vegetables like watermelon.
watermelon,
Good. Uh,
cucumber.
cucumber. Bitter gourd is also there. Bitter gourd. So these are the following examples. Okay, Kharif crops and Rabi crops we just discussed. Question number 9, you guys both of you answer to me. Why can paddy not be grown in the winter season? Starting from Khadija.
Because there won't be enough moisture for them to grow. Because
Hmm. Okay, correct. Also, we know that in the winter season, the temperature is also not adequate for the germination of soil of germination of seeds. What about you, Sundus? Is the reasons we have said, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So what will happen like if the seeds were to be sown in the winter season? Will the seed germinate or not?
it won't.
Huh. Or like if even if it's germinate, it will not grow properly because winter is also different as if you were to look like in different parts of the world, winter somewhere it is moderate, somewhere winter is very harsh. So that factor also has to be considered. Plowing is done by Sundus. That
Answer.
is question number 10, Sundus.
Sir,
Khadij,
it
you
is
answer.
done. Should I say so now?
Ha ha ha.
So it is done by many things like bullock carts and tractors.
The implement that we use. The implement we did talked about the tools.
So the wooden
You can
shaft.
name both of them. You can name the plow. You can name hoe also, and you can name one more, that is cultivator. Okay, now Khadija, question number 11.
Uh,
Yes. What do we use hoe for?
it's removing. It's for loosening the soil and removing unwanted plants.
What is another name for those unwanted plants?
Uh,
So can
weed.
I say
How you can say?
the weed?
Yeah, Khadija, getting it now?
Yes.
Okay. So preparation of soil, we have completed that. Now the question comes, after we have prepared it, now we have to sow the seeds into the ground, right now. So what is sowing basically? It's the process of scattering seeds or putting seeds in the ground, in the soil, so that the crop plants can grow. As simple as that. And sowing is actually it is obviously the most important part of the crop production. But before sowing is done, we have to ensure a few important things. Like we have to ensure that the quality of seeds are good. The seeds are not infected by the microorganisms, by the insects. So first important step is that selection of good quality seeds. The seeds that are clean, seeds that are healthy, that are free from infection and diseases. So the question comes that
So
how
certified
yes,
seed.
uh, certified seeds. Uh, if you were to look at this image over here, there are two different seeds of the same kind. What difference do you spot between the two? And that is the seed of a wheat actually. You guys tell me what difference we find between these two. Also, none of them are infected. Do note that. None of them are infected. Khadija, Sandus, What do you guys think? If you were to look at the second image of the wheat seed now, this is a normal seed. That is a normal seed. Now look at the first seed. You will see that thickness of the seed is much more than the second one. Huh? The length is also slightly more. They look healthy, isn't it?
Yes.
So the seeds in the first one, you are seeing that they are called as the high yielding variety seeds. In short, we call them as HYV seeds, high yielding variety of seeds. So the thing is that when you will be growing crops out of these seeds, the crops will be taller, the crops will bear more grains, it will be more healthier. Also, the harvest time of those crops will be shorter. It's not like the crops will be grown on the land for a very long period of time. It will be crops will be ready to be cut in a shorter span of time. So normally we take care that the seeds which you are sowing in the ground, they should be disease free, they should be clean, they should be healthy. And apart from that, we go for high yielding variety of seeds. The farmers who are rich and who are whose economical condition are good, they will not be purchasing the normal seeds. They will purchase the high yielding variety of seeds. Is that point clear to both of you?
Yes, but are high yielding seeds made artificially or naturally?
Huh, that's a good question. They were actually genetically modified in the laboratories. If you see, like after 1950s, particularly here in India, if you see, green revolution took place. Okay, no? Because there were several issues through which India went through. Like there was a Bengal famine, which killed millions of people. Then there was India went into war with China, Indo-China War of 1962. So there also India spent lots of resources into war. You guys know about the independence of India. In the year 1947, India got independence. So it was a young nation. So it had to the population of the nation was growing, but unfortunately, India had several parts of India was going through famine. So many people were uh, living below poverty line. So many people were facing hunger. So many issues were there which India was going through. So ultimately, people came up with the biologically modified seeds. So these seeds were actually biologically modified. Hope that answers the question. Are there any other questions?
No.
Now let's do a very interesting activity. You guys can select good healthy seeds for sowing in this manner. What you will be doing now? You will put all the seeds in a bucket that consists in a bucket containing water. Okay, no? And stir it very well. Now, what you will see that most of the seeds will be settling down at the bottom of this container or bucket, whatever it is, of this glass jar, basically. While some of the seeds will be floating above. So, what does this shows? You guys tell me what does this shows? Which one is a healthy seed in jar A or in jar B?
Uh,
So
jar B.
Okay, Sundas, what about you?
the same.
Same, that is in B, right now. So that's why you see what basically is there. The healthy seeds are actually heavier because they haven't been eaten by insects. They haven't been infected. That's why they are heavy and hence they will be settling down. So that was one of the way by dipping the seeds into the water, we can um, see which one is healthier. So hope that is clear to both of you. Another thing is that what are the methods of sowing the seeds in the ground? Like One of the method in order to sow the seeds in the ground is by hand. Right now, just manually, you can see sow the seeds in the ground, but that is also a very time consuming process. It requires a good amount of time. So the farmers came up with the idea of this traditional tool. So what they basically did now, see this one. This is a very innovative idea with which the farmer came up. So the land is being plowed by this bullocks. These bullocks are actually loosening the soil. Why this plow? So at the same time, you can see there's a funnel shaped structure attached to this plow. Can you guys see where I'm pointing? See the arrow where I'm pointing. So there was a funnel shaped structure, and another end of this funnel, obviously, it is hollow. So at regular intervals of time, farmers started to put some seeds into it. So as the land is being plowed, seeds also falls via this funnel, and hence they are plowing the land and sowing the land at the same time. Is that clear to both of you?
So I didn't get it.
Huh. See, basically, in this one, what is happening now? The farmers, what they're doing now, there is this traditional tool. Basically, it's a plow, but they have attached a funnel. You guys understand the funnel? Funnel is a structure like this.
Yes, sir.
You might have used that in kitchen. A funnel is like this. So they will be putting some seeds into it. So as the bullock is moving further, so they will start to put some seeds in. Suppose at every 1 second, they put one seed into it. One seed, after 1 second, they put one more seed, then one more seed, like this. And those seeds via the hole here, there's a hole here, that goes into the
So why did
soil.
the people just put it with the hand, the soil?
Because you see here, no, in order to save time, in order to save time, also you see at the same time they are doing two activities. The land is also being plowed and the seed is also sown here. Also, there are several things to be considered while seeds are being sown. The proper depth is ensured, the proper distance between seeds is ensured. All those things now we will be discussing that in the next class. So basically, we will discuss this traditional method in detail and what are the mechanized modern methods for sowing the seeds are used today. That is basically a seed drill. So we will be leaving it here. If you guys have any questions so far, please let me know.
No, sir.
Okay. Adija, any questions?
No.
Okay. Also, you guys tell me, like in mathematics, have you guys started your studies or not?
Yes, sir. So we have just ended the first chapter. The teacher is going to take the test on tomorrow.